Greetings, ladies and mental gents, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. If this sounds funny, it is because this microphone is my spare, not a good quality microphone. It is a direct microphone that plugs in. It is not an ACX microphone that plugs into an interface. It's not a USB microphone, so it might sound funny. It is also a stereo microphone, so if I don't speak into it perfectly fine, you'll hear me in one ear and not the other, which is cool for some things, but not really for this. But it also seems to be doing it randomly, where just one microphone doesn't work, so I'll try my best to get this through. It is Sunday, so I can't go out and buy new interfaces that have blown, because I've gone through two today. There's really not much else I can do except use this microphone. That's my bitching finished. If you hate Mondays, I know it's Sunday, but it's my Monday, click like and subscribe again, and subscribe a third time, because 2 clicks unsubscribes you. Anyway, if I keep looking over that way, it's because I'm checking to make sure the microphone's still working. I apologize. Bioships, written by eddieddi. Personal log of Ambassador Kirill, transcript of verbal log, galactic date 128.18.89.06. And they came in the dead ships which should not fly. These unholy carcasses of metal that besmirch the stars, humans, and all they carry with them, dead metal, dead ships, and soon to be dead peoples. They would learn, as all before them had, to live between the stars. Even your ships had to be alive. To truly sail amongst the stars, your ships must be alive as you are. Our species has long since domesticated a species of squid which can skip between the stars. By combining it with various neurological circuits and uplift technology, our ships are as alive and as smart as we are. They even live longer. I go now to board a human ship as part of a diplomatic delegation. I must dissuade them of the idea of flying such abominations. Galactic date 128.18.89.10. There is something wrong with this ship. It should be dead, a cold thing of metal and technology with no life, no heart, and no animus. Yet, as I walk along its halls, I can feel its heartbeat through my feet. It has a metal floor, yet the heartbeat is there. It isn't the dull throbbing of our star squids, nor the quiet rustle of the Orcs traveling trees. It was a deep bass rumble, a continual low hum that permeated the entire ship. The deck plates vibrated with it. I could feel it shake its way up my legs. When asked about it, I was told that it was the reactor core of the ship. When I asked if that was the ship's heart, they shrugged and said that I could call it that. Some of them do. They call this unliving canister of metal a thing with a heart. The air is too dry and lacks anything that resembles a scent. It smells processed. The humans call it cleansed air. Galactic date 128.18.89.16. There is something wrong with the ship. It should be dead, a cold thing with no life and no animus. Yet, as I walk its halls, the thrum of its heart keeping my taut nerves from snapping, I'm becoming even more aware of the fact that it has veins and nerves, not of flesh or wood, but of metal and rubber. They carry not just the ship's lifeblood, the energized plasma it runs on, but water, air, and food for its inhabitants. These pipes are always making soft noises, even in the dead of night, and bleeding a little heat. I asked the humans about it, and they said that they could insulate the pipes and keep them silent and cold, but they like the noises and the warmth. Something about old houses and old noises being comforting. The floor is too hard as well. It feels like walking on rocks. I've had to relinquish on some human footwear to protect my foot pads. Galactic date 128.18.89.22. There is something wrong with the ship. It should be dead, cold thing with no animus. Yet, the longer I remain here, the more I am certain that there is something deep within the ship that is alive. Not as we would understand it, but alive nonetheless. It makes noises like a living being. Its reactor hums like a heart, waking up or growing quieter depending on the needs of the ship and her crew. The engineers and technicians know what the noises mean. They can tell if the ship they call this dead thing a she, is damaged, or under stress, depending on the noises it makes. Just like our star squids make noises when they are in pain, the humans have provided me with what they call a humidifier to keep my cabin air moist, and even let me apply scented oils to it to help with the smell. Galactic date 128.18.89.40. The ship is not alive. I keep telling myself this. There is no animus, no heart, no life. The thrumming I hear vibrating through my footpads and up my legs is not the beating of its heart, but simply the waste of energy of its reactor core bleeding out in vibrations. The noises in the wall, the pings, the slugging of liquids, the odd clanks are not sounds of its internal organs or vascular system, but rather base mechanical sounds. Simple pumps and machines used by humans to keep the systems and ship functioning. The fact that the crew know what these noises mean isn't some clever symbolic biological system, but rather just an experienced crew knowing what a sound of a machine running poorly. Yet, I feel as safe here as I do aboard one of our bioships. The sounds have a rhythm, a specific tenor that tells me that she is running fine, that there is nothing to worry about. I know what the ship in danger sounds like. The reactor core roars loud, and the ship shakes as the engines come ready to fight. The sounds of systems in the walls reach a fever pitch as energy, fuel, and resources are moved about the ship. Other sounds fall silent. The noise of water running in pipes as the plumbing is depowered to conserve energy. The human footwear is very comfortable, keeping my feet warm and preventing my foot fur from becoming damp or dirty. Galactic date 128.18.89.44. I need to get off the ship. I'm starting to sense it. Whatever the humans feel that makes them treat their ship as if it's alive, the deep connection they have with it, the sense that they can understand what is going on. We would normally grate our ships when we wake, or if we encountered some kind of sensory organ or servitor organism within them. I have no reason to do this here. The ship is not alive. It has no heart unless you count the reactor. It has no mind unless you count the ship SI. It has no blood unless you count the plasma that runs through the pipes in the walls. Yet, I found myself greeting one of the tiny cleaning robots that roam the corridors today. Much like the humans, I am requesting a transfer from this posting to one where the species I am an ambassador of flies ships that actually have a heart. I keep turning off the humidifier to keep my room cooler. The dry air seems to help the volume of my fur. Galactic date 128.18.89.75. I have finally been reassigned to a different posting, one where the species fly in bioships, not these alien blocks of metal that have no life. I think I'll be leaving advice for my replacement on how to keep themselves sane and not start to attribute semblance of life to a ship that should be very much dead. Yes, this ship, certainly not a live ship, requires a specific mindset to deal with. One I do not have. Galactic date 128.18.89.95. I have finally disembarked from the human ship and am to spend 6 days aboard the human station while I wait for my new vessel to arrive. I passed my advice on to my replacement and assured them that the humidifier serves well, though doesn't need to be on, and that the footwear is required, but is very comfortable. I am still wearing the ones they have provided me. While on the station, I was receiving a shocking amount of attention from the elite. Apparently, my fur was far more voluminous and my paw pads far better kept than most others, both indicators of wealth, status, and mating potential. Having never received such attention before, I was very confused. My accommodation was in the human sector, as there was none available in my own species sector. Every time I visited, I was greeted with mating proposals and similar. As one who has never received such things before, I was shocked and confused. My residence in the human sector was acceptable. The sounds were familiar, as was the temperature and humidity. Galactic date 128.18.90.01. I finally boarded my new ship. It is strange to be back aboard a bioship. The noises are louder, the air hotter, and more humid. I was forced to take my human footwear off, as I was told that it might damage the flesh floor. Once I was shown my room, I attempted to settle down to sleep and struggled. There was too much noise. The bed kept shifting under me as it attempted to work out my sleeping preference. I disliked the ship. Galactic date 128.18.90.05. There is something wrong. My fur has lost volumes. My paw pads are once again in the worst state. I struggle to sleep. The noises sound wrong. I constantly want to tell the ship to be quiet, but I know it can't. And the smell, oh gods, the smell. I can't describe it. It is somewhere between rot and sweat and clings to my fur, and no matter how often I attempt to wash it clean, it only grows worse. Galactic date 128.18.90.08. We are docking at a station, and I've requested that my dockside residence be in the human sector. I miss the cold, dry air, the floors that didn't squish and quiet, safe noises. The thudding boom of the ship's heart is too loud. The sloshing of the fluids in the walls reminds me of all too much of the sounds I heard in food processing plants. My fur is once again flat and stuck together. My foot pads are damaged, and my nose is clogged with the smell of the ship. Galactic date 128.18.90.10. I have walked about the station. It is massive, one of the largest trading stations in the sector, and explored each race's area, and I can confirm that it isn't just the specific bioship. Any race that lives in a heavily biological environment has the same effect on me. The only two I can stand are first the Orcs, because their area is good and quiet. I can wear my human footwear and wash the stench from my fur. And the second is the human area. The cold, quiet metal, the clean air, the fresh water, the hard floor that doesn't squelch under me. Whenever I walk through my own species sector, I want to rip the flesh from the supporting structures and reveal the cold, clean metal under it. I thought, because the bioforms we grew were antibacterial and killed all microbes and hostile microorganisms, that they were clean. I didn't understand what clean meant until humanity and its so-called dead ships. Galactic date 128.18.90.13. I've tendered my resignation. I cannot handle returning to the bioship again. I will attempt to find a position aboard a human ship, one where I can wear the shoes they gave me, where my fur can be kept clean and fluffy, where the loudest noise the ship makes out of combat is the odd plink as the metal tube cools, where the cleaning devices are basic discs of plastic and ceramic, and the not oozing cephalopods that trail antibacterial slime that seeps into my paw pads and makes them so rough that no female would consider me a mate. My superiors have asked that I seek psychiatric help when I called our bioship cesspools of filth with a stench worse than a Torrent's arse crack on gym day. I told them they can stuff it. I'm going to a human ship where it's cool, clean, dry, and quiet, where I can sleep without a bed shifting below me like some giant amoeba. Galactic date 128.18.90.20. This is my final entry. I have found a position aboard a human ship as a translator. My superior has registered me as mentally unstable after I refused to seek psychiatric help. I hope in time that I will not be the only one who sees that bioships are a detriment to our species, not only in our physical well-being and emotional state, but also to those aboard as it damages their mating prospects. I, Kirit Kirill, sign off my last log as ambassador to the human species. My next log will be recorded aboard the HFSS Freelancer as the head of translations and xenolinguistics. End of story. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Dragon Soup, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Sans the Skeleton, Lightjock, Dragzoon WRE, and Lord Azrikol. Thank you very much.